Okay, I'm back once again. You know, my this lesson is supposed to start at 5:30, but I always start a few minutes earlier so that people can come and check it. Hello, Server Catholic. Nice to see you too. Have you updated your app, Server? You're welcome. Okay, so dear viewers, once again, the lesson starts at 5:30. And what do you learn from these lessons? We learn the four skills of IELTS exam: listening, reading, writing, and speaking techniques and strategies. And also, my students get the opportunity and to talk to me and also correct their grammar, correct their writing, and also they know how to develop the reading strategies as well as the speaking strategies. One important matter is that in order to develop ourselves, yourselves, and for anyone, it is a mandatory matter that you should practice. Okay. Unfortunately, Sarwa, you cannot talk to me unless you subscribe to my lesson through the Hallo. That's the policy, and also looks like you haven't updated your app. That's why you can't comment. Okay. I'll suggest you please update your app, then comment it later. I'm just trying to help my students at the moment. So students are my focus. When I make public live stream, possibly you can comment. And as a matter of fact, once again, um, you have to go from the mobile, okay, and go to the Play Store to update your app. You'll see update button. Thank you very much. So another important matter is if you would like to talk here, the only way to talk to through the Hello is by subscribing. Non-subscribers are not able to talk to me. They can come and comment like this, the way you have commented, but that should be in public live stream, not on the subscriber lesson. I believe that has explained. I'll be back in a moment, dear viewers. Okay, I'm back. So our target is to explain tense today. So tense is very important part of English grammar.
Grammar.
Grammar, okay?
Drummer.
So in order to learn tense, we need to understand few other things. First important matter is to understand the concept of time, because tense is always related to the concept of time. Basically and practically, there are three types of times in our life. Number one, the time that we have at the moment, we call them present or the present tense. The time that's gone a while ago, we call them past tense. The time that hasn't come yet, we call them future tense. So tense has three main concepts: present tense, past tense, and future tense. And each tense has four subsections or sections, you can say: indefinite or simple, continuous or progressive, perfect, and perfect continuous or perfect progressive. Okay. So let's move on with the present tense. And before that, we need to understand the form of verbs, which is very important when we are learning tense. Uh, each verb has three types of forms, like present form, past form, and past participle. Hi, one, welcome. Thanks for the message. I'm following from my mobile. Will send open request. Oh, sure, no problem. That's great. One, thank you very much. Good to see you after a while. I believe that everything is going on well. So, present form, past form, and past participle form of the verbs. And also, basically, there are different kinds of verbs, and the important verbs in this case would be regular and irregular verbs. So, I'm sure, dear viewers, you know what are regular verbs and what are irregular verbs. We call the regular verbs are those verbs which doesn't which do not change in the past form or the past participle form. They add in the past form possibly d, okay, and also in past from another D. I'll give you example so that yeah, it will be clear for you. Regular form. So regular verbs. They do not change the root form. And irregular verbs are those which they change in past, past participle. Let us find out some of the verbs that do not change in past and past participle forms, and also we'll find those verbs that change as well. So we'll find that do not change and we'll find that change. So the verbs that do not change once again in the past form or past participle form, we call them regular verbs. Some of the examples, um, okay, one is here. One, I've accepted your request. I'm not yet successful to add you. All right, one, are you still there? Because I've accepted your request. It doesn't seem to be working. So I believe that you should. Okay, I'm inviting one more time. Let me see what happens. Hey, welcome.
Hi. Okay, finally.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
Okay, one. How are you doing today?
Yeah, great. What about you, sir?
I'm okay. Thank you very much for asking.
Okay.
I was wondering, is this the only suitable time to join in Saturday and Sunday?
Uh, can be considered like that because this is the holiday time.
Okay, that's all right. No
Yeah.
worries.
But sometimes I need to attend something, so maybe it's quite hard for me to attend on Saturday and Sunday
That,
sometimes.
yeah, I understand. Okay, so how is your family and children? Okay, everyone.
Yeah, just my children, they got sick. They got sick.
Oh,
They are having a fever.
sorry to hear that. How long?
Almost 3 days, both of them,
Mhm.
because I sent them to the school to nursery. So maybe
Yeah.
because of they mix around with the kids there, so easily for them to get infected.
All right. So did you give your children medications?
Yes, yes.
Hmm. I'm sure they'll be better. Don't worry. Okay.
Inshallah. Yeah.
And also, the only thing I'll suggest you to give them proper medication, rest, and food, and not to send to school at the moment.
Yeah.
Great. So I was describing, tense, and I'm sure you know them. Do you have any specific question? Any of the tenses?
No, but I will follow the lesson first. If I have any questions, I will straight away ask you.
Okay. Do you know regular and irregular verbs? I was explaining these things because these two terms are very important for learning and understanding tenses.
Yes, I understand it.
Okay. Can you please give me an example of regular verb?
Uh, like mm, regular verb is I start with irregular verb first. Go, went, gone is
Mm-hmm.
for irregular. Regular verbs pick, pick, pick. That is for regular.
Did you say pick?
Pick, Pick. Oh, I change it.
Mm-hmm. Pick is the present form. What would be the past form? You said
pick. Picked.
picked. Uh,
Pick.
Picked. Remember, one. If there is s or d at the end of any word, we must stress on that s and d so that your listeners and I can also hear it. So pick, picked, picked,
Pick. Pick. Pick.
picked.
Pick.
Okay, I'm writing it for you, so that you see. Pick, picked, picked,
Pick. Pick.
picked.
Pick.
Say the da sound. Da, picked, picked, da. Can you please pronounce da?
The.
Very good. So this d sound should be added in past tense and past participle. So this is a very good example. Most of the cases, what happens in regular verbs, they take only ed in past tense and past participle forms. Okay. Another example like accept. What would be the past tense?
Accepted.
Very good. Accepted. And past participle?
Mm, Accepted.
Same. Accepted. Well done. High five for you. So remember, if a verb has d at the end, we must pronounce it strongly, stressed way, so that you can understand, you can hear, and your listeners can hear it. So pick, picked, picked. Similarly, some of the regular verbs, when you're trying to pronounce, we have got difficulties, and one of them is this one. Can you pronounce this?
Ask. 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 It's quite hard actually to pronounce for the past tense and past participle.
This is another one. Ask, asked, asked. Help.
Help. Helped. Helped.
Very good. Uh, in both of these cases, the D sounds like T. If you listen,
Helped.
yeah, helped, asked.
Mm. Asked.
Okay, and another one is like last night I had a lesson, and there was this verb was there, and one of my student was having difficulties to pronounce it in past tense. In present form, the person is okay. I remember one. There's sometimes spelling differences between the British way of spelling, and this is British way. Americans will not write like this. They will write with Z.
Mm.
Remember that. But both are same, yeah? Realize. D, yeah? Okay, so realized.
Realize.
Okay, can you pronounce help?
Help. Helped. Helped.
Very good. Similarly, asked, help, helped. But I've seen in many cases, many of our learners have difficulties that they can't pronounce. They pronounce like this, ask it, help it. No, that's not the right way. It is not a double syllable. You know the syllable, the concept of syllable? One, do you
Mm.
remember?
Yes.
Syllable is the concept how a word should be broken and how it should be pronounced correctly. So in asked, it is single syllable. Ask it, when you say ask it becomes double syllable. Ask and it. Similarly, helped is a single syllable. When you say help it, then it becomes double syllable, which is incorrect.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So these are regular verbs, and irregular verbs. You gave an example: go, went, gone. How about this irregular verb? Is it
Read.
is it regular or irregular?
Mm, uh, regular. The one is irregular.
How do you differentiate these three words when you're pronouncing?
Read. Read. Read.
Read, read, read. Very good. So this sound like this, read. Read, read, read. And in the UK, we have got a university. You know how it is pronounced? Can you guess?
University of Reading. Reading. I don't know.
Tell me, reading or writing?
I'll take a different way. Reading.
That's right, reading, because read read is the verb in this case. If you say reading, people will understand, oh, somebody's reading something. Okay?
Okay. If you don't ask me the questions like this, I will straight away answer that. I will read it as University of Reading.
Exactly. Right. So read can be used as a verb. In this case, read, read, read. Let me see if we can use it as a noun or not. But if you remember, when we use ing with verb, and that verb works like a noun or adjective, we call them gerund.
read,
Okay, yeah, read can be also used as noun.
Oh,
And if you use as a noun, remember, we can use article before a noun. Okay, let me show you. It's really amazing from the Cambridge Dictionary. Because someone asked this question to me that can you use a before read? Yes. When you use as a look noun, can you see that screen?
yes.
Read noun, the act of reading something. It's not brilliant, but it's worth a read.
That's what I read.
Okay, can you please read the second example?
The book is a good, easy,
The,
etc. Read.
mm, next one.
Could I have a read of your newspaper?
It is an informal expression in the UK.
Mm.
Could I have a read of a newspaper? No. Buy it yourself. People say like this. Especially in London, there are few free newspapers. One of them is Metro, which is very famous. Another one is Evening Standard. Okay, free newspaper. So what do they do? These people who publish it, they've got hundreds of their part-time workers. So they bring from their office and they distribute every train stations, bus station, underground, rail, and sometimes there is a stack you can collect by your sorry, you can collect by yourself.
Mhm. So can I ask you one question?
Sure, you can ask
Okay.
me 1,000 questions, not only one question.
I have two questions. I will ask you after this. But one question is that is it common for the British people to refer the words of material as important? Because just now, this morning, I was having a class with teacher Sophia, and he says that American never use material as important. But I said that in my country, I found many words to refer material as important. But
But
in UK, for UK people, is it common for them to use that?
now, before we answer, what do you understand by material? That is the first thing. Okay,
Um,
materials may have different meanings depending on the context. So in this case, what did you mean by this word material?
Materials.
One,
yeah.
what do you
Uh,
mean by this word material? Is it related to money? Money
yes,
could be a
money.
material, or material could be that a physical substance. Okay, when one thing is made from, we also call the material. But if you mean material is like money, then money has value for each and every person. Okay,
Mhm.
and also this material, uh, as a metaphor, it is a materialistic world. Nobody will value your honesty, your integrity. They will value your, you know, financial situation. Okay, and also materials can be used as equipment, like uh, writing materials. Can you see? Do you need writing materials? Teaching materials. I'm sure you can see the screen. Do you need to make it a bit bigger?
No, I can see it.
So this is the biggest question first before you answer. Look, physical substance that things can be made from, like building materials. Okay, the
Yes.
materials contain only inorganic material. Clay is very plastic material. Uranium is radioactive material. Second meaning, information used when writing something such as book, or information produced in various forms to help people or to advertise. Like I'm in the process of collecting material for an article that I'm writing. Okay. Next one is cloth that can be used to make things such as clothes. How much material will you need to make this skirt? Is it clear one?
Yes.
Now, another meaning of materials is equipment. Okay, material adjective. Look, I believe that this is what teacher Sophia is trying to explain to you. Relating to physical objects or money rather than emotions or the spiritual world. Like this is the material world or materialistic world.
Yeah. The last part, sir, important. Teacher Sophia says that American doesn't use normally they don't use material to refer as important, like British English.
That's right.
Mhm.
So
So that's what.
So yeah, she's right. And honestly, one, remember that English language and the meaning depends on your context,
Yes.
which is why sometimes I say I level English language as a crazy language. As you
Mhm.
go deeper analysis and more study, you'll be able to find that this is really, really a crazy language sometimes.
Correct.
Okay, so let us find if there is any other meaning. Important and having an important effect, not effect, effect, sorry. So that is also material. Like if you have any information that is material to the investigation, can you see the meaning? That means
Yes.
any information that would be related to any case or investigation or incident.
Mhm.
Okay, another meaning material, a type of the type of physical things such as wood, stone, or plastic having qualities that allow it to be used to make other things hard or soft material. The sculpture was made of various materials. Okay, another meaning is cloth, we explained already. Then equipment, supplies, then information again, material noun, a physical substance that things can be made from. Like the cost of labor and materials has risen up to 40% in a short period. Like building materials, construction materials, study materials, reading materials, you can say. Printed documents, like these are reading, writing. Any other question?
Okay. One more question.
Sure.
uh, okay. The way to ask question. Let's say I want to ask my kid what their mother is doing. So, which one is correct, sir? Can I say that maybe I can write in a comment, so easier for you to see.
Yeah, sure. You can also practice speaking as well. Both are helpful. You write and then you speak.
Mama is doing. What is mama doing?
Okay, tell me, how do you say that?
What mama is doing? What is mama doing? So, both of them are correct, or only one is correct.
Both of them are correct. Remember that sometimes we use interrogative sentence in assertive form. Okay, it depends on
Mhm.
your tone. What mama is doing is assertive form. If you bring the s before mama, then it becomes an interrogative form. What is mama
Mm,
doing? Look, what is mama doing? Your tone is going up, your voice is rising.
mm,
Remember that it is very important to have our tones on the right place, on the right time, with the right formation. When it is a question, remember that our tone must go up. What is mama doing? You have asked a question, or you can ask simply without the rising tone, what mama is doing now.
mm.
Okay, both are correct.
Okay, correct.
Okay, let me give you another example. uh, you are at home, right, at the moment, or maybe you're at office. Okay, one, i'm
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So you're at home. Look at the tone. That's from the tone you can understand it's a question. But if you
Mhm.
say, oh, you are at home, that means I know that you're at home. So this tone indicates that I'm certain you're at home. And if you say you're at home, that is surprise. That means I didn't expect that you would be at home. You would be elsewhere. That's
Yeah.
why we call that use your tone when you're speaking, so that your listeners, whether it's a children, your wife, or your colleagues or workers or anyone that listens to you, and understand from your tone what you're trying to say.
Understand.
Okay. So generally in our speaking, three types of tones we use: rising tone, flat tone, and down tone, falling tone. So rising tone is generally and always either questions or surprise or shock. Like it's oh my god, what happened? Surprise, eh? Oh my god, what happened to you? Question. Okay. Sometimes you can say plainly, oh my god, what happened to you? Without having any expressions. Like robotic way. Robots do not change their tone. Like my name is T20. I'm from the 25th century. How can I help you? Look robotic tone. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're at home? Look down tone. That means I'm surprised to know that you're at home. Clear now? When?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it is the similar way when you talk, when I talk as well in my own native language or native mother tongue. We express this type of expression. And similarly, English language has got the similar expressions. So you need to just apply it.
Okay.
Clear? Any other question?
Yes, that's all.
No problem. Thank you very much. If you have any question, anytime you can ask me in my subscriber chat. And when I'll be free, I'll be able to respond to you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
No problem. If you remember, you suggested that I covered all the conditionals. Then phrasal verb is really a large chapter because there are many phrasal verbs. But I'm just making a list for you. Maybe I'll send you the list via your email so that you can have a look. Because each word has maybe 10 or 11 different kinds of phrasal verbs. I believe that in that list there are 200 commonly and mostly and widely used phrasal verbs. But it will be difficult for me as well to remember. Okay,
Mm,
sometimes we need to practice. And in the UK, there is a saying: the greatest teachers are those who learn with their learners, students.
do we use phrasal verb in writing, sir?
Phrasal verbs are mostly used in writing and also academic speaking,
Mm,
in conversation. Okay. Like one, you're doing a great job. Carry on. Like carry, yeah, phrasal verb. Carry on. W- Okay, carry on means keep doing. Keep
doing.
yeah, keep doing your hard work.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
So we are discussing earlier the tenses, different tense of tenses, and regular and irregular verbs. And s- one of the amazing irregular verbs: go, went, gone. Read, read, read. Okay, and some of the verbs that never change, even their present and past forms. Okay, and one of them is like read, another one is cut, cut, cut. Okay, then lit, lit, lit. Sometimes some of the verbs may have two forms in past tense and past participle. One of them is dream. It could be dreamed or it could be dreamed. Okay, another one is learn. Can you pronounce this word? Learn. What is the past?
Learned.
Very good.
Learned.
Because sometimes some of our learners have difficulty. They said learn it. But learn it has another meaning. Learn it means when you're educated person. Like he's a
Yes.
learned person, but not past participle in that case.
The learned judges.
Yes. Okay. And if you have any question in the meantime, we can ask. There is a test about the tense. Would you like to go for it? Or do you want me to describe a little bit more? Because I was trying to fill up anything that has not been explained well to you. You understand present tense, right?
Yes.
Past tense as well,
Yes.
and past participle. Future tense.
Correct.
Okay. Let me have a test, speaking test.
Okay.
Okay. Remember that when I'm asking you the question pattern. So, what is a question pattern? Question pattern means you have to understand what kind of question it is. Is the question is related to answer to the present incident or past, or maybe future? Okay. So, I'm going
Okay.
to ask you a question. It will cover all of these three tenses. So, one, welcome today. And how is the internet situation in your country?
Internet situation.
Yeah, is internet cheap in your country?
Mm, for me, I think that internet. I can say that internet is quite cheap, but most of the people says that internet in my country is not commensurate with the price that they pay. So they pay high, but they receive a speed very slow. They receive a very slow speed.
You mean say the internet is cheap but their speed is slow?
Yes, but for me, I think it's quite okay.
uh, do you know why people say like that, why the internet is slow in your country?
They are comparing the price with the other country, and they says that the internet price in other country is even cheaper compared with Malaysia. Some
Okay,
of them says that.
okay.
I don't even do the comparison.
All right, this word, what's the name of your country again?
Malaysia.
Very good. It's as sounds like a little bit Z. Malaysia. Similarly, Asia, Malaysia, Indonesia, visa. These are this though there is S, but this S sounds like Z.
Yes, I learned it from you.
That's right.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. And I noticed last night I was in teacher Sophia's lesson for a few minutes. You use some words very good way, like practically, typically. You say not typically, practically. Those are wrong pronunciation. Bravo for you. That's why. Yeah. Remember, when you learn from a lesson, you can always apply to another teacher's lesson, and I'm sure your teacher will be able to notice that you're trying to use most corrected way as well. Okay. So 5 years ago, was internet cheaper in your country?
5 years ago, the internet in my country was not cheaper. The price was same as today. Am I answer it correctly?
So the price didn't change at all from the 5 years back to now.
Yes, the price didn't change. It remained as normal.
Oh, that's really pretty cool. But could people use laptop or mobile phone easily?
Yes, because if they want to subscribe for the internet, they can always choose which package they want to subscribe based on the speed. So the higher you pay, so we get higher speed.
So how many companies, I mean internet companies are operating in your country at the moment?
Mm, there are a lot companies, but for the fixed line, last time we only have one companies, but now they have a lot of companies offering for the internet services.
Oh, that's really cool. When you have got more than one supplier, you can find which deal is better, which contract
Yes.
would be good for you. Okay, now move on. Picture it after 5 years. Do you think that the internet will be more available for all of the people of your country?
Mm, if in the future, I think the internet will be provided in a wide range, so maybe the price will be cheaper because there will be more competitions among the service providers, and I think they are going to fight to offer the best price in order to attract more customers.
Okay, well done. You have realized. See, this question, whatever I have asked, three different tenses I have used. When you're talking about the present situation is the present tense. Well done, one. And 5 years back, oh, definitely it is a past tense. And after 5 years, it is another future perspective. So remember, this is the implication of learning tenses, that we should respond the question in the most appropriate way, and you have really done well. Now I'm going to ask you one other question. Now you have to answer it a little bit more detailed. Uh, when you were a child, do you remember which school did you go?
Mm, I went to many school because I moved a lot. I when I was a child, I moved. I shifted to many places. So the first school that I went was um, sekolah. We call it sekolah rendah Sungai Buloh,
Is
and
it
then I moved to sekolah rendah Rantau Panjang. Sekolah is school.
at
So,
this Malaysian language?
yes, Malaysian language.
You mean Malay language?
Yes.
So when you studied, was it totally in Malay language or English language as well?
Um, the medium in the medium the medium the language medium in Malaysia is Malay language. So I was studied in English language, in Malay language when I was young.
You studied in, not I was studying.
I studied.
Yeah, it's a simple past only. Or you can, if you would like to use was, then you should use verb with ing. Like I was studying in the Malay language, but still I was learning English. You can say like this.
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember when you were a child or in your childhood, who was your best friend?
When I was child, my best friend was Ajizwan. He was my best friend when I was young.
Do you still have contact with him?
No, I didn't. I
Uh,
didn't.
you don't have any contact. Okay. But why do you think that he was your best friend?
Because I was close with him when I was a kid. We always we went to other places together. We played together, and we did many activities together.
What kind of activities do you remember?
We played uh, badminton. We played football. We went shopping together, and many things. And even we studied and learned together.
Oh, while you were in school, did you go for shopping with your friend?
Only to the night market
Okay.
where you can buy food with a
Mm,
cheaper price.
okay. Do you remember, was there any fighting or dispute or argument with your best friend?
Uh, Maybe no, but we always be a good companion to fight with the other students.
You mean you were a group together and we fought with other children?
Yes.
And who won?
Sorry, sir.
Who won while you had a fight? Who won in this fighting? You or the other children?
We won it because Ajizwan is a big. He had a big body. He had a big shape of body.
Okay. And what's his name again?
Ajizwan.
And your name Rizwan.
Yeah.
Aziz and Rizwan are two friends. Okay. Okay. This word one, does it have any meaning?
Sorry.
Your name one, does it have any
No.
meaning at all?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, well done. These questions are all in past tense. You answered all of them past. This is one of the amazing indications that you understand tense very good way. And congratulations and felicitations one more time. So, simply remember that when you're having conversation with your maybe boss or colleague or any foreign clients, if you have any, uh, it is important to express your concept of your message or communication to them. And I remember that what was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Last yesterday morning. I was in a live stream, and there was one person was talking so fast that no one could understand. Okay, then I had to stop him and ask him, "Come on, you need to slow down. That's the first thing. If you want you to be understood by everyone, you need to slow down. Speaking fast doesn't mean anything. Okay, it jumbles really your pronunciation. It jumbles your grammar. Even the words are not correct, even though because you're trying to speak faster. When you try to speak faster, sometimes you cannot think what you're going to say. That is the way I just suggested that person. Anyway,
Mm,
these are all related, because when you're having conversation, because your main target from this lesson is to have a good, fluency, right? Good speaker. And in order to be good speaker, I believe that I suggested you to read as much as possible, and also learn vocabularies, new words. So vocabulary could be different types, like it could be synonym, it could be antonym, it could be homonym, it could be homophone, it could be phrasal verbs, it could be group verbs, it could be phrases, it could be idioms, or it could be any kind of expressions that are important to your conversation. Okay, and
yes.
it's like a non-stop continuous process. One, learn anything you feel like, at least 1 to 2 words every day, then make sentences, and definitely and obviously, as I mentioned, meaningful, logical, sensible, understandable, and complete sentences. Do not write incomplete sentence, or do not practice incomplete sentence. There is another post I'm just referring. One student asked me, "What will you do? What would you do? What's the difference?" Then, by reading these two sentences, I'm writing it for you. Let me see. How do you feel? Is this sentence complete or incomplete?
Okay.
What will you do? What do you think? Is it a complete sentence? What would you
Mm,
do?
no.
Okay. Explain why it doesn't seem to be a complete sentence.
Because this sentence didn't give us any situations.
Exactly. You got it. Very well done. Bravo. And so what will you do about what? Right? Make a sentence, complete sentence with these two words. I mean two sentences.
What will you do if you want to improve your English?
Very good. Then next one.
What would you do if you were in my place when when you saw the accident happen?
Okay, that is a conditional. Very good. What would you do if you were in my place and an accident happened? That's great. Even if you want to make it a shorter sentence, like what will you do now? Okay, just use one word. It becomes a meaningful sentence. Like what will you now, or what would you do now? Which one seems to be more, natural? What will you do now? What would you do now? One.
Yes. Oh,
What?
the question is for me.
Yeah, the question is for you. What will you do now, or what would you do? Can you use now after what would?
uh, can
Hmm?
okay. What will you do now? But when the question is what will you do now? Okay, it means now. So I will study with you until our class end at 2:30 p.m.
Okay, and we don't have much time. 9 minutes more. Okay. Now, on the grammatical concept, this is correct as well. What will you do now? But if you use what would you do now, we use would, if you remember, in polite situations as a modal verbs. Okay.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
what would you now can be used as a polite expressions. Because there is no other word for this, so I just inquired the student, please write a complete sentence. What do you like to write? Okay. Then after that, I will explain what's the differences between these two sentences. And I think there is a teacher as well. The teacher is explaining that it is only used in conditionals. But I also explained that would can be used as a past form of will, meaning past tense. Like, look at this is very important pattern. Like, I would play with my school friend after the class. Oops, sorry, school friend. Friends after the class when I was a child. Look at this sentence pattern. So after class. So I would play with my school friends after class when I was a child. Like you explained, that your friend, we would go to see the cinema or for shopping together when we are children.
Mm.
Can you please make a sentence with the using of would in the past tense?
We would um, we would study together
Mm-hmm.
when we when we when the school finish.
We'd study together. It's very good. Well done. See, so you're describing a past event together when the school finished. Go shopping. We'd go shopping together when school finished. Sorry. Okay. So you can see that would can be. I'm sorry. Oh, would can be used as a past form of will,
Yes.
and also if would can be used as a polite expression and request. Like, would you like to have a cup of tea? One.
Yes.
This is
Why not?
yeah. This is a polite request. Or would you mind closing the door? Would you mind closing the window? Would you mind speaking a bit louder? This is a request, okay? But we can also uh, use as an offer, like, would you like to go cinema with me? Okay,
Okay.
so we have learned this would is really an amazing modal verb. Can you please give me some more examples? One as a request.
Cool. Oh,
What one out?
you want me to make a sentence?
Yes, yes. Give me some examples, so that I understand that.
Could you please accompany me to meet with him tomorrow?
Yeah. Very good. Remember, could and would can be also used similar situation. Could and would. Go on. Another example. Offer.
Uh, could I have a drink, please?
Can you use would instead of could?
Yes. Would I have a drink? Okay. Would you mind to give me a glass of water?
Okay. Remember, one. If you use would you mind, this is the rule. Verb must take ing without any to.
No.
Would you mind
Would
to
you
give? It doesn't sound natural. Rather, would you
giving
mind giving?
giving? Would you mind giving me?
Yes, giving me, giving you, going. You can make hundreds of sentences.
Mm,
One more time, please. Uh, practice this one. Would you mind?
would you mind giving me a glass of water?
Very good. I'm sorry, I'm busy at the moment. Could you help yourself?
Would you mind borrowing me some money, please?
Yes. How much do you need? $1 million? One more sentence, please.
would you mind, um, would you mind, would you mind, would you, cannot think any word. Would you mind renting your house to me?
Certainly. Yeah. I've got two properties. You can rent any of them. Okay. That's great. You see, would you mind? Remember, would and you sometimes we sound like, yeah, would you mind rather than would you mind, Non-native says would you mind, but natives always say you is a yeah in this case. Would ya, could ya, do ya. Remember, if it is a questions, the you becomes ya sound. Do ya, would ya, could ya, etc. But well done. You see, this is the way we can always, practice yourself. We've got 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay. Remember one, whatever you learn from any teacher, I'm sure that you've got a notebook right there. And if you have any questions, always ask the teacher.
Sure.
Okay. And also, only an hour with a teacher is not enough. I say it every time. You have to give
Right.
some times to yourselves. You need to find some times to practice. Because when we are acquiring a language, when you're learning, it is important that after that we need to practice. Otherwise, our human brains are made in such a way that we can forget anytime. You know, like if I ask you, "Hey, one, do you remember what did you do yesterday at 2 o'clock?" You'll not be able to explain because we our brain doesn't you know store each and every information. Maybe the important information. Maybe you can say, "Yeah, I went to the office at 9 o'clock." Because I gave medication to my children because they're not well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We've got a few more seconds. So that's really cool. That I'm sorry. Last Saturday I was not well. I couldn't take the lesson. But however, as a part of the lesson, you'll get one lesson extra. That's why one date is extra now. If you go to the calendar, you'll find it has forwarded one lesson. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And thank you very much. And always make sure you read something for your
Sure.
vocab and make sentences. And if you have any questions or queries, I'm always there. Right in the either by email or the chat section. I'll be able to answer you when I'm free.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
No problem. And would you mind practicing it every day?
Yeah, sure. Definitely I'll do it. I will do that.
Thank you very much. See you later. You take care.
Okay.